Guru Nation, welcome back to another quick stock analysis. We actually, on my other channel, the Clinical Research Circle, we went in depth on this particular company, GeoVax Labs. Myself, Dr. Al, Chris happened to be on this one, GeoVx, $33 million market cap. They've got an HIV vaccine, which is their furthest developed product in the pipeline. But the one that's got a lot of people excited is the COVID-19 vaccine, which is a pan coronavirus vaccine. So what makes this special really is the fact that it supposedly can handle all the variants. And the technology here is interesting and one that we can look at. We actually did an article on this on Latinos in Clinical Research. GeoVax development used a novel patented modified vaccinia on coronavirus-like particle, MVA-VLP. Look, in these biotechs, guys, it's 2021. In these biotechs, it's less about one IP now and more about the platform. So this is an MVA VLP based vaccine platform. On this platform, MVA, which is a large virus capable of carrying several vaccine antigens, expresses proteins that assemble into VLP immunogens within, so in vivo, the person receiving the vaccine. The production of VLPs in the person being vaccinated can mimic virus production in a natural infection, stimulating both the humoral and cellular arms of the immune system to recognize, prevent, and control the target infection. GeoVax current development programs are focused on preventative vaccines against COVID, HIV, Zika virus, hemorrhagic fever viruses, and malaria, as well as therapeutic vaccines against multiple cancers. If you look at their technology website, vaccines contain components, antigens that represent disease-causing microorganisms. Traditional vaccines are often made from weakened or killer forms of the virus from its surface proteins. Many newer vaccines use recombinant DNA technology to generate vaccine antigens. The most successful of these purified antigens have been non-infectious virus-like particles, as exemplified by vaccines for Hep B, which is Merck's Recombivvax, and GSK's Engerix, and HPV virus from GSK. GeoVax's approach uses recombinant DNA or recombinant viruses to produce VLPs in the person being vaccinated. In human clinical trials of the HIV vaccines, we have demonstrated that the VLPs expressed in the cells of the person being vaccinated are extremely safe while eliciting both strong and durable humoral and cellular immune response. So here is a look at their pipeline. So they've got IND enabling filing for solid tumors and HPV associated head and neck cancer. So that's the immuno-oncology, and then they've got the infectious disease, same platform. Now they got the infectious diseases that we're talking about, and as you can see, the HIV preventative is furthest along. Phase 2, if you look on Biopharm Catalyst, it's actually phase 1 trials to commence early 2021. And then for the COVID vaccine, phase 1 trial is planned. It's looking like the COVID phase 1 trial is going to be in 2022. So you're betting on how many variants are going to keep coming out year over year. They keep saying coronavirus not going away. We need pan vaccines. GeoVax, in theory, is capable of that. There is the GeoVax CEO discusses key value drivers, including COVID vaccine and immuno-oncology milestones for 2021. David Dodd updated investors and analysts on the company in his quarterly conference call. I was on this call. We made tremendous progress in 2020 to improve the position of the company, including cleaning up our capital structure, securing long-term funding, signing critical licensing agreements, accelerating our program towards clinical development, and achieving NASDAQ listing. We're excited about the numerous upcoming milestones with our developments, which see several data readouts over the next 6 to 12 months. Our focus is on advancing our priority programs related to COVID-19 and immuno-oncology. We are particularly excited about the recent signing of 2 license agreements with NIH, both of which underscore a commitment to confidence in our unique vaccine development approach. The initial agreement, announced October 2020, grants GeoVax full access to the use of critical NIH patents of materials. This is actually pretty big in support of COVID-19 vaccine product development, clinical development, and continued progress through FDA registration, manufacturing, and commercialization. The second license, signed in November of 2020, supports the ongoing research and development of our other infectious disease vaccine and cancer immunotherapy. With respect to their efforts in developing a preventative vaccine for COVID-19, in January, they announced the receipt of NIH funding in support of the COVID vaccine development. We're in the final stages of animal testing with our various COVID-19 vaccine candidates, and we hope to report these data in coming months. As a reminder, the primary advantage of our MVA VLP platform is that it can incorporate a large genetic coding capacity, which allows us to include multiple genes for a given target. For COVID, our preventative vaccine constructs not only include the spike or S protein, but also the matrix and envelope proteins, which serve as additional targets for cellular immune response and should not be significantly impacted by variants that are evolving within the population. So this is why that's important. If we look here, they have another release that came out. What differentiates the 4 GeoVax COVID-19 vaccines from the DNA and RNA focused products? So the GeoVax approach enables the design of MVA vectored vaccines encoding multiple COVID-19 proteins to support the formation of virus-like particles. These VLP accurately mimic the virus in structure and as such will induce optimal immune responses, but they are not infectious, nor can they cause the disease. As a result, we anticipate stronger and broader immune responses will be induced, ideally with a single vaccine dose. In addition to vaccine potency, the induction of a broader immune response involving both antibody and cellular mechanisms should provide an added level of protection against variants of COVID-19 that may arise as the virus continues to circulate globally. MVA has a very well documented safety record. As we mentioned earlier, Big Pharma are using it, and its use is approved in multiple countries as smallpox vaccines in individuals such as compromised immune systems associated with cancer treatment, transplantation, and even advanced age. Use of MVA as a vaccine vector provides opportunities to tailor vaccines for different markets and address specific niches that are otherwise unmet. They are presenting at Bio, which is the biggest, besides DA, the biggest conference in life sciences every year. This year it's digital. This is what's going to happen on June. Bio Digital is between June 10th and 11th, as well as the 14th and the 18th. David Dodd will, so this is going to be another potential catalyst here. David Dodd will present an overview of GeoVax's immunotherapy and vaccine research development efforts. The presentation will focus on the company's ongoing efforts towards the development of the COVID-19 vaccine, capable of addressing the increasing number of variants. Mr. Dodd will also discuss the company's cancer immunotherapy program and its vaccine development program. See, it's all about the platform with these small caps. Look at this. $33 million market cap, NASDAQ listing. Attendees at BioDigital will be able to view GeoVax's company presentations before live meetings. GeoVax Chairman and CEO David Dodd will participate in a panel discussion entitled Vaccine Business, 5 Minutes of Fame or 5-time Oscar Winner. The panel discussion and live Q&A is scheduled for Tuesday, June 15th. So I tweeted May 28th, it's now June 8th for those watching in the future. 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago, we did a group video. So everybody go to the Clinical Research Circle. All right. Like, okay, these thumbs down, I get it, but pick something, thumb up or thumb down, but more important, share, and more important, subscribe to the Clinical Research Circle. So I posted that. And then we've got, so one of our oncologists who was on it, he was convinced this is a long-term buy and hold with just the immunotherapy, immuno-oncology, not to mention the platform itself for COVID variants. So a lot of people came out for such a small market cap. A lot of people came out. And if you look at stock twits, there are actually a lot of people on this board talking. This has a lot of activity for such a small cap biotech. But somebody said, how can you compare GeoVax that is preclinical and not even published mice data on COVID vaccine yet with PDSB that has really good in human cancer data and several phase 2 studies ongoing? And I'm saying, because the guy above me posted this, PDSB, market cap 270 million. GeoVx only market cap of 30 million. So what I said was, I think he's just saying the potential market cap in the next 12 months. Just compare 30 million to 270 million. Doesn't take a genius to figure out the share price is going to reflect that too. Then they say going to take a minimum of 2 to 3 years for GeoVx to get where PDSB is now, assuming things go perfectly. Yeah, but if you look at that, that's a 10x. GeoVx is 30 million. PDSB is like 300 million market cap. So that's 10x right there. So yeah, 2 to 3 years to 10x, it's a good investment in my opinion. Now that's without COVID hype. If they get any good news at Bio, that could be an immediate catalyst. If they start the phase 1 study on COVID any earlier than 2022, that's a good catalyst. And we're going to get into that here. People were skeptical about Moderna a year back. If there's any environment for exceptional progress, it's now. GeoVx seems very confident of U.S. government support. Then somebody else said, well, they got 300K from NIH. It's like get nothing really. I said might be nothing, but for a phase 2 or 3, but it's adequate for a small human pilot study. Pivot, not pivot. I said pilot. I'm talking GeoVx. So I'm not talking phase 3 pivotal study. I'm talking pilot, phase 1, first in human, 30 subjects typically, something like that. Manufacturing and scalability is usually taken up by the bigger people like Pfizer and AZ. There's a bear case for GeoVx, the manufacturing scalability issues with MVA, lack of institutional investment, or their reliance on academic research. Size of NIH funding isn't one of them. Many trolls, but few bears on this ticker. So manufacturing, partnership, this is going to happen. This is a very small company, very early. If the data comes out, they will have partners. There's a lot of interest in this potential, at least. So fully capitalized, no toxic debt, clean balance sheet. I'm telling you, the people, this is like, it's polarizing stock. No toxic debt, clean balance sheet, in talks with multiple partners. This is now a new company with forward-looking, competent management. It's worth keeping an eye on since it's largely the same company management-wise. Not to deal with sins of the past warrant debacle, nothing to do with current CEO as previous presentation. The listing on NASDAQ itself is a massive accomplishment that happened last year. So as you can see, a lot of chatter, a lot of hype around this for such a small market cap. Phase 1 trial design is 3 to 4 months on average. 4 as stated in the NIH licensing agreement. COVID will start maybe end of 2022. He said it already with delays now. It may start 2023. So if it starts by the end of 2022, this is the bear case. By when will you have results? This person says disagree strongly. 3 to 4% of the population can't tolerate the available vaccines. And there's more research coming that shows that 15 to 80% of people with certain medical conditions, such as specific blood cancers, are generating few antibodies. So that's the bull and bear case. I think this is something that's worth, like, I wouldn't try to trade this. I would just, and there's no rush really, but bio is a potential catalyst coming up. And then the phase 1, planning the phase 1 for COVID. So not a stock to trade, a stock to buy and hold if you feel confident in the platform. Go to their website, look up the technology, look at the pipeline, look at the news, follow the company, small market cap, haven't started human trials yet, but something worth looking into. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you later. And remember, not financial advice whatsoever. Don't use this as financial advice, but go down the rabbit hole and figure things out for yourself. Take care.